Hey, hi everyone. It's Beth from Beth Feel King Design. Hope you all are doing good today. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous day here in Holland, Michigan. So I'm looking forward to doing some new projects today. I'm going to be up in the studio a little later, and today I'm going to be doing a pour on some glass, champagne glasses. And I think you're really going to enjoy the video, so I hope you can tune in for it. Before we get started though, I just wanted to show you some of the paints and supplies that I use. So if you want to get started, you'll know what I'm using on my project. So these are just some acrylic paints from Hobby Lobby. They are relatively inexpensive, $1, $1.50, $1.29. They're in their craft section, so you can pick those up, hundreds and hundreds of colors. This is just another one, it's called Deco Art, and you can get that at Hobby Lobby too. For the project I'm doing today, I'm gonna be putting Elmer's glue in with the paint to just help it to get conditioned a little bit, and I think for the project we're doing, this is gonna hold really well for us. So I'll be up in the studio just a little bit later, and we'll get started on that, so I hope you stay tuned. Thanks, bye. Okay, here we go. We're gonna start mixing up the paint. Like I said, I'm going to mix it with this Elmer's glue and maybe a little bit of water. So I'm just gonna put a little in each of the cups that I want, just to cover the bottom basically. This is a creamy metallic white. Oh, this one I haven't taken apart yet. This is a bronze metallic that I think is going to be really pretty. So I'm doing a purple metallic and a bronze metallic on one set, and then I think I'm going to do a black and white and white metallic on the other set. So just put some in there. Can you see how much I'm getting in there? Just covering the bottom basically. A little bit of titanium white. Now these in the tubes are a little bit thicker, so it might require us to add a little bit of water to make those the consistency we want. And this is just black. Okay, we'll get these out of the way. All right, then with the glue, just gonna shake it up a little bit. And just pour a little bit in. I usually do about 1 part paint, 2 parts glue. And the nice thing about this glue is that it does not change the color of the paint. So it's very compatible with the paint pigments. And it's just a little bit of a, oops, that's a lot in there. A little bit of a stabilizer, and you don't use as much paint. And I think also on these, on this glass surface, I think it's going to pour really well. All right, this is the bronze. As you can see, the color is still just as bright as it was coming out of the bottle. So that's what we want to see. Okay. All right, I got them all mixed up for the first time through, and these are all quite thick. I don't know if you can see how that goes there, but it's too thick to pour that way, so you have to add a little bit of water. And I would just do a little at a time, and then mix that up and see how the consistency is. From all of the instructional videos that I've watched, they say that you want the consistency of the paint to be like warm honey when it drips off of your stick. So, I don't know, this one I think is still a little bit too thick. That's got a pretty nice consistency. Still might be a little thick, but I'll go ahead and thin out the other ones, and then we'll be ready to pour. Okay, the paints are all mixed up. I don't know if you can see this. I moved the camera so maybe you can see it a little better. This is sort of the consistency I was going for in all of these paints. The black and white were a little bit thicker, so it took me a while to thin them out. But I did, and I think we're ready to go. Before we start painting though, we gotta prep the glasses. So what I do is I take some isopropyl alcohol and just wipe them down. And I'm gonna have the paint on them. We're not going to paint all the way up to the rim because that's where your mouth would touch it, and although these paints are non-toxic and the sealer I use is food grade, I don't think people like it up there. So I'm not going to do that. We're just going to start kind of right around to this edge here. One other prep thing, kind of a little trick I learned, is for these glasses, I'm going to put a film of Vaseline on the bottom because I don't want to have to try to tape this and worry about paint getting on the bottom. So if you can see that, I'm just putting this just a little bit on there. I use these little trays here that I've found. So I'll just put that up there for now. Do this one. To get off. Okay, so first one I'm gonna do is with the purple and the bronze and the white. Can you see all those? Okay. All right, so the way I do this is I'm actually going to use the sticks to help me spread the paint out. And I just kind of do it in a very sort of abstract way. So I'm going to start over here. This one over here. I'm going to start with the bronze. And we're just going to dribble some on there like that, up and down. Turn the glass. Ooh, that's going to be pretty, I think. This is the hard part. I've been told I should get a glass turner, but I don't want to spend the money. So I hold it myself. Okay, that's enough bronze. I'm going to go with a little bit of white in between. Just drizzling it on up and down. I suppose you could do different patterns if you want to, but this has worked the best for me so far. And it's going to start dripping down the stem, which is what I want. If you don't want that, then you will have to take that off. All right, the last one's a little purple. And I would just experiment with the colors. I mean, some you might think, oh my gosh, that sounds horrible. But once you get them all together, it's really beautiful. Especially when they start coming together. So I don't know if you can see that already, but see how some of those are already starting to come together? So now we're just gonna let it float down there. Let it drip, run, whatever, and see how we do with that. We don't have enough. I want enough to cover the base too. So if you can't see that, the base is not covered yet. It's starting to run down. But if we have to, then I'm going to put a little more like on the edges here, and actually maybe even put some on the base just to keep some of that stuff moving around. It's nice if you can get it to flow, because it creates just these marvelous patterns that are just fantastic. All right, I'll let that sit a little bit. All right, second one. Same thing. Gonna start with the bronze, just like I did the last time. think I'm going to try to do a little bit more on the bottom so that that covers maybe a little bit better. And if you want to go higher up on the glass, you can. Like I said, I don't want it to go so high that it'll be up where people are sipping. Okay, I got the next set ready to go. These are just a little bit different shape, but I did put the Vaseline on the bottom and I wiped them all down. So I'm loving this bronze so much, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the bronze and the black and the creamy white. So let's see what that looks like. All right, then let's do the black. Ooh, yeah, love it. Look at that. Pretty. And sometimes, I guess it just depends on what you want to use them for or how fancy you want them to be. I sometimes put glitter on the base if I think I want them to be a little fancier. So, and don't worry about these, you know, running all over the place here. That's exactly what you want them to do. See how they're, and it's making these beautiful patterns on the stem. Can you see that? I hope. All right, we're gonna put that one there. Let that one go for a minute. And anytime you're using these acrylic paints, especially on glass, you're gonna have to seal it, because if you don't, it can come off easily. Even with the sealer on, I tell people not to soak these and not to put them in the dishwasher. They're hand wash only, and they wash up really nice, but if you put them in the dishwasher, it's very possible that the paint will come off. So we don't want that to happen. All right, here's the white. Right now the black. I think these are super cool. What a great addition to your stemware sets. Everybody's gonna want one when you serve these or serve your drinks in them. So tell them to call me. I can make them some. All right, so there's that one. And like you can see, I put quite a bit on the bottom there. And as you know, as you tilt it, you might have to tilt it a little bit to get it to cover the whole base. The other thing that you can do, sometimes you have to be a little careful, but like here, this one, oops, oh shoot, now I touched that. All right, that's what happens when you start messing around. But you can tilt it and it'll start running off one way or the other. You can kind of touch it like that and help it move. Okay, so we're gonna let those just run down a bit. So any paint that I've gotten on the glass, I think you can see some of the smudges there. I'm just gonna let it be for now. And when these dry, when I can handle them better, I'm just gonna take some alcohol on a paper towel and just go through it, and it'll all clean up really nicely. Okay, let's take a quick peek at how these are coming out here. Really, really pretty. I'm loving how it flowed down onto the base here. That's just a gorgeous design down there. The pink and purple ones, aren't those beautiful? They just look like flowers almost, and really pretty. So I'm really happy with how these are coming out. Look at this one back here, isn't it gorgeous? I had some paint left over, so I went ahead and did a couple others. And on these, I actually did put some glitter, I don't know if you can see it, on the base, just to sparkle those up a little bit. So these are all gonna dry for a day or two. When they're dry, I'm gonna clean them all up, and then I'm going to seal them with some resin that I actually hand paint on those. So I'll show you how I do that in a couple of days. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a great day. Bye for now.